to another episode of Personal Finance Boss. My name is Julian, and unfortunately, Ali can't join me today because he is studying for his CFA. But that's not the end of the world because this is going to be a quick podcast. I just was doing some research for the RSP versus TFSA episode, and I noticed some interesting bank deals or deals at banks in Canada. So I just wanted to share those with you. Maybe you guys can take advantage of them. So the first deal is with TD Bank in Canada, and it pertains to the RRSP. And what they're saying is if you open up a brand new RSP account and you fund it with $1,000, essentially you can get $100 if you follow these conditions. So the first thing that they say is there are two qualifying products. The first one is a GIC with a maturity of 1 year or more, purchased anytime before March 1st, 2019, so in the next, say, 2 months. And then the next one is an eligible TD mutual fund or a TD managed asset program portfolio. So it's essentially one of TD's mutual funds, or it's a mutual fund where they combine multiple mutual funds. And you need to also set up a pre-authorized purchase plan, meaning that you will have to purchase a certain dollar value of this fund every month, for a minimum of $25. So let's say you invest $1,000, this week, and then you need to set up this pre-authorized purchase plan and make sure that this pre-authorized purchase plan makes one transaction between March 1st and March 31st. You also need to contribute an additional $25 before that, and then you need to keep this pre-authorized purchase plan, or PPP as they call it, alive all the way up until July 31st. So from March, April, May, June, July, so it's 5 months. So it's going to be $25 times 5. So $125 that you're going to have to contribute into the account after you put the initial $1,000. And then the next thing that you need to do is you need to keep the account open up until August 31st. And that's pretty much it. And once you're done with that, they will then give you a bonus of $100, which will be put in your RSP account directly. So you won't be getting it cash in your bank account. It's going to go directly into your RSP account. Sorry about that. And the reason why this is actually very interesting, even though you guys already know my opinion about RSPs, I think the tax-free saving account is the better investment for younger people, let's say, because you don't know what your tax rate's going to be in the future, and other reasons that we talked about in depth in the RSP versus TFSA podcast. But what makes this interesting is that if you put in $1,000 plus an extra $125, and then you get a free $100, that's pretty much a guaranteed 8% return in the first year, just by TD giving you the $100. And then you have the benefit of being invested in the mutual fund for a year. And if you get 8% in the stocks, or if you get a 3% by investing in the GIC, it adds on to the guaranteed 8%. So you can make at least like a guaranteed 10% in the first year by opening up your RSP with TD. This is obviously the case if you don't have an account with them already. If you already have them, unfortunately, this promotion won't be applicable to you. The next thing why I think this is a great deal is because they're giving you an extra $100 that can compound over, say, 40 years, so that when you retire, you have to convert your RSP into your RIF, which is your Ali's not here to remind me what it's called. It's a retirement income fund, I believe. That's what the abbreviation stands for. So that extra $100 compounded over 40 years, depending on the rate of return that you get, it makes this deal even that much more worth it. And the reason why I say that you're going to be compounding it over the 40 years if you're 20, say, or 25, is because they put it directly in your RRSP. So they're not giving it to you cash, so it's even a greater incentive for you to kind of keep that money in there and keep it in there for the 40 years. So that's a really good point. The next thing is, not only do you get the free $100, you also get the tax return from the government. Obviously, that's the whole point to contributing towards an RSP. Is, let's say you're in the 30% tax bracket and you put in $1,000, you're essentially going to get $300 back from the government, or pay $300 in taxes less because you put money in your RSP. So by getting an additional $100 in the RSP. TD, it's kind of tricky the way they explain it. I don't think that the bonus $100 counts as an additional contribution from your end, so that's not going to count as a deduction, but you guys should double check that. And when you go to TD to open the account, I would talk about that with the advisor just so that you fully understand how this deal works. But my understanding was that it did not count as your contribution, so you wouldn't get any money back from the government, which is okay. And it doesn't matter that if you got, say, 30% back from the government, that means you get a free $130. But banks only would do so much for us. So in that sense, you keep the $100 in there, and then it grows. And when you pull the money out, like from the RIF, you're going to get taxed on it. But at least they give you a free $100, and you get the tax credit of, say, $300, or the tax refund, if you want to call it that way. So you get a total of essentially $400 for free. $300 from the government, $100 from the bank. And that sort of makes contributing to an RSP that much more enticing. If you compare the TFSA and the RSP, and you say, okay, well, the tax-free saving account you use after-tax dollars, but then you never pay taxes on the gains that you make for the rest of your life. In the RSP, you use before-tax dollars, and when you pull the money out, you're taxed on the gains that you make based on whatever income you're making at the time that you start withdrawing the money. So there's a pretty big difference in the two accounts, but by them giving you an extra $100 right away, it sort of would push me in favor of opening up an RSP with TD and benefiting from this deal. And I'm actually going to do that with my work colleague. So he's in Asia now, but as soon as he gets back, we're going to go to TD and we're going to probably open up an RSP account with them just to benefit from this, because I think that the extra $100 is what I need to put money into an RSP. Also, I did used to have an RSP before, and I used the money to purchase my first property, and I have to reimburse it. So it can be a win-win in this case. So those are the two reasons why I would consider putting money into an RSP in my given situation. But for you guys, I really think that this deal, even though it's only $100, if you're 45, it may be less enticing to you. If you already have $400,000 in your RSP, like, why would you go through all the trouble for an extra 100? Obviously, I understand that. But if you're at least 18 years old, which are one of the conditions that you have to meet, I strongly suggest to go to TD and really learn about this promotion and see if you have the $1,000 to open the account, and to see if it fits with your financial plan. And if it does, well, that's great, because it'll if you take, let's just look it up quickly. If you take $1,100, let's see, compounding calculator. If you take $1,100 and we're going to invest it at, say, 7%, which is a conservative average for the S&P 500 return, and we're going to go 7% for 40 years. The initial balance is $1,100. Monthly contributions are, let's say, 0. Instead of doing $1,100, we'll do $1,100 plus the $125 for the three $25 contributions that you have to make. So 1, 2, 5. And after 40 years, we are looking at pretty much $20,000. So this deal that you can benefit now, which forces you to save $1,125 and gives you an additional $100 in 40 years at 7%, will be worth $20,000. So even though you can't retire on $20,000, but say you open the account, you set up your $25 automatic transfer, and you never cancel it, which would be a great thing to do, because it kind of forces you to save. And $25 a month for most people is very doable. And let's see how much that gives us. So just that right there gives us $85,000 at 7% over 40 years. And even though, again, $80,000 isn't something that you can necessarily retire on comfortably, you'd be surprised, but this is more than a lot of Canadians have in their RSP account right now as we speak. Just out of curiosity, you should maybe ask your friends and family around you to see how much they have, if they're willing to disclose that, just to give you an idea of what they have, what quality of life they think they can get, and how much you want to have and what quality of life you want to get, just so you can create an idea as to how much you need to retire. This may not be the best way to do it because, every area is different. The cost of living won't be the same everywhere, but it just gives you an idea. And if they tell you, hey, I have $40,000 in my account and I'm 45 and I know that I'm way behind, but I'm really trying to start saving now much more, then it sort of gives you insight in saying, okay, well, I need more than $40,000 to retire. And if he starts saving at 45, imagine how much easier it is going to be for me if I start saving at 20 or 25 or even 30. So I think this deal is worth looking into, especially because I think it's a great way to start saving in sort of investment vehicle or a plan that getting the money is not necessarily harder, but it strongly the government strongly disincentivizes you, because as soon as you pull the money out, you're going to be taxed on whatever you pull out, right? And there may be additional penalties. Unfortunately, Ali isn't here to fact check me, so we'll just move on to the next promotion. The next promotion is with BMO, and this isn't an RSP account promotion. This is one of their checking account promotions. So a bit less interesting, but hey, you still get free money, so why not? What they're telling you to do is between January 15th, 2019 and April 30th, 2019, you need to open up a checking account. And depending on the checking account that you open up, you'll get more or less money. So just to show you guys what it is, the premium plan, which is their most expensive plan, which costs premium plan. Okay, $30 a month, and you need to have a minimum balance of $6,000 in the account to waive the fee. They also give you other benefits, but I'm not doing an ad for BMO or anything. If you're really interested in learning about the accounts, you can go on their website. I will post the links in the description. And so that for the premium account, you get the full $300 cash, and the fee is $30 a month. And then for the performance plan, which is a $16 a month plan, you get $100. So just looking at the two plans like that, I think it's more worth it to open the premium plan, even though the monthly fee is double. You get 3 times the amount of money. So that's number one. Those are your plans. You need to open between January 15th and April 30th. And then the next thing, you need to make a deposit of any amount in the account that you choose to open. Oh, they also have an Air Miles account where you get 1,000 bonus Air Miles. Just if you have Air Miles, maybe that's going to be interesting for you. I have Air Miles, but I don't really follow the point conversion, so I'm not sure how much that comes up to in real money, or what you can buy in their store or pay for a flight or whatever. And then the last thing you need to do is you need to set up one recurring direct deposit in the account and have at least one direct deposit actually happen before May 31st, 2019. So for me, that was kind of a turnoff because, my employer already pays me in my TD account for now, because I bank with TD for the most part in Tangerine. For me to go ask them, hey, could you transfer the money in this account, and then go and open the account, and then have to pay that monthly fee to keep the account open, and then go back and transfer back to TD, it's a lot of hassle for $100. And at the end of the day, compared to the TD promotion, which actually sort of incentivizes you to save, this one, it's just free money. And of course, if I had a lot more time on my hands, I would. But for those who are looking to open up a checking account, this would be a great way to start saving, because you can take that $100 that they give you, or $300 depending on which plan you choose, and you can put that in your RSP, since it's RSP season now, or you can put it in your tax-free saving account and start saving for the long term. Last week I was at work and I saw that HSBC also had a promotion. They were giving away $5,000 interest-free loans for the RSP, so interest-free RSP loans, but I wasn't able to find that page again, so I'm not sure if they discontinued it or I just can't find it anymore. So maybe if you guys have a look, you can find it, but I wasn't able to find it, so I can't really share the nitty-gritty details about the promotion with you guys. But for those who bank with Tangerine, maybe you should also have a look at your insights, as they call it. They are also giving away RSP loans at very low rates, like we talked about in our RSP loan podcast. They were offering me one at 2.75%, which is, a fairly low rate for this time. So maybe something to look into as well if you think that the RSP loan fits your financial plan. If you want to have more information about it, you can listen to our podcast and also go read the terms on the Tangerine website. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to cover. I just saw these two deals that I wanted to share with you guys because they may be able to help you guys and they may be able to incentivize you to start saving, or if you're new to the country, or if you never had a bank account or checking account before, or you're looking to change financial institutions, maybe you should consider BMO. Even though they accused me of having a fake ID once, which it was not fake, it was just a really bad picture. And I would have stayed to meet the cops, but I had to be somewhere, so I just told them I would leave. But apart from that, all the 6 banks in Canada are pretty much the same, so they're a fine institution. I just had my bone to pick with them in the past. But yeah, if you want a new checking account, you can make either $100 free bucks or $300 free bucks, depending on the account. As usual, you can reach us on our Facebook page, Personal Finance Boss, or you can send us an email at personalfinanceboss@gmail.com. Ali also started an Instagram page, which I have not been looking at, so I have no idea what he's posting on there. But I know that there's quotes. So if you guys want to read quotes on personal finance, I assume that's where you can find some. And you can also reach us on YouTube. You can comment on the comment section of our video. Again, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.